Okay, getting started, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Okay. All right, guys, first time's a charm. This is my fourth note today, so I'm definitely going to rest up after this. You can see Wizard of Oz, a local production musical at my school, so super stoked about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and show our autographs and talk a little bit about the convention. This was my free poster this year, Fantastic Four. We were supposed to get a second one, but nobody knew what was going on with that. Not even the people at the poster or t-shirt table. So maybe another time for that. I'm just gonna start grabbing. Okay. So here we go. I forgot I had some big posters in there I bought too from these super nice girls who were totally appreciative that I am a female dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons. So that was nice. Okay, so let's start over here. I do have to kind of blur that without. Oh, I don't want to cover Mr. Jordan. Okay, so I met Vicki Lawrence right here from Moss Family. I know her actually from Cool Kids, so I was so happy she had some Cool Kid stuff. I was the first one on Friday that she had. And the assistant was, oh, that's so nice. She was sorry, I'm jiggling my leg. She was my first autograph. Her line wasn't too busy. She was just kind of there. Not by any means rude, but she was just kind of there, which was fine. I thanked her, told her she was awesome, and of course how awesome she was with Mr. Leslie Jordan here. Rest in peace, good sir. You're one of my favorite people. And she said, I wish it could have gone on longer. And I said, yeah, me too. So it was nice to meet Miss Lawrence, and I saw a lot of Moz Family fans, so that's good. Not my generation, but I do know what it is, of course. And then I met Mr. Wayne Knight, and he had the sweetest smile. Again, he was kind of shy, actually, but he kind of patted my back and said hi. Again, he's just kind of there, chilling. But, at least he gave me lots of smiles. We had some cute selfies together. And I got the Space Jam one here. And I thought this would go great in my classroom, in our class special friends book. Because he is definitely a special friend. So, and I'll post all these pictures with the pictures of the autographs on my Facebook and Instagram. I plan on doing that after my videos, either today or tomorrow. And then I met two of the Jeffersons cast. I was real excited. Miss Gibbs was who did. Oh my Lord, her name. The maid. I can't remember right now. She's 92. She's very quiet, petite, pretty thing, but she's very sweet, very delicate. She'd say thank you. And they put her and Marcus at this little table. Now, Marcus was a ball of charm. Oh my gosh. I went right up to her though, and I didn't realize they'd be like side by side, and it was pretty slow over there, but I'm like, it's the freaking Jeffersons. Like, I told both of them, I'm like, this was my favorite classic show. I watched it on TV Land. And honestly, we have some good classic shows in my generation, like live action. But there's something about that era. And it just it was so good. And he goes, yeah, we're hearing that from a lot of people, like your age and younger even. And I was like, well, good. So I got a group shot, which is great because if I ever meet, unfortunately, a lot of them have passed on. But, if I have a good chance to ever meet any of the others, that would be really wonderful. And I had to think back on Marcus. It's been a long time since I've watched the show. And he was like the cousin in seasons 3 and 4. And the guy was he was so charming. And see, that's what I keep saying in these videos. If you have a good energy, like you're going to convince me to support you. And that's what I did. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. So and their combos were very reasonable. They were $60 a piece for an autograph and a photo, but they did their group photo together, which that was fine. So they squeezed me real tight in the middle. They made me put their arms around him. And after he convinced me, he was so excited. He goes, woohoo, I'm going to take you out on a date. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was really cool. But I got their autographs here. They signed them by their characters. And Mrs. Gibbs kind of complained. She goes, well, you kind of took up my room. But yeah, she was very petite, very sweet. Again, 92 though. Like that's amazing. So props to you, friends. Again, I love the Jeffersons. So I was super stoked about seeing them. Okay, and then I have Minnie Mouse. She was so adorable. Like oh my gosh, she stayed in character all weekend. And when she saw my Disney World dress with all the Disney World food, she's like, oh my gosh, you're making me hungry. Okay, so I want the cupcake and I want the pretzel. And she's like naming everything off my dress in her mini voice. And her assistant was, oh, I want that. So they were so kind. And she was just such a doll to talk to. And she loved that I was doing this for my classroom. So we already have a spot for Minnie and Donald. And she's like, now you tell your children that Minnie Mouse had to do their homework. And I'm like, I wish I would have recorded that. So I'm like, yes, Miss Minnie Mouse. And we got a cute picture together. She gave me a little hug. And her combos were only 40, which I think is amazing. My theory is that she's doing that so kids could, families with kids could afford to meet Minnie Mouse. So she was so sweet. And Mickey was sweet too when I met him. Every time she saw Mickey, she would do her mini voice and call him over, which I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. I love it. I love when people get into their character. Like, it's amazing. Okay, and then I got this guy from Sean Schimmel, who does Goku. Oh gosh. And this is only 40. I just got an autograph, even though Sean was really cool. I got pictures of him in his panel. I like this kind of iridescent sparkle effect. It's like all these forms of Goku. So this is going to go in our class book as well because Goku is so iconic. And I kept thanking him for that. So I was explaining to him, yeah, could you put Mrs. Conant's class? I'm a teacher. And he's like, you're a teacher? And I say, he goes, oh my gosh, can I talk to you? I kid you not. He vented to me. And I mean vented to me for 10 minutes. Why in his line? He had a long line, but not super long, but long enough on a Friday. Because he didn't come until like 2:45. And this was like 5 o'clock-ish. And the show closed at 6 or 7 that day. He was talking. He started talking about the philosophy of Buddhism. I can never say that word. And what's wrong with basically some of the things wrong with our country, and how critical thinking is the most crucial thing that kids should learn nowadays, and people don't educate them on that, and it's showing in our generation, our youth. And like he would like I'd have my hand here and I would like yeah, and I'd give like little comments, but he would just let it out. It was great, and he would like squeeze my hand, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I could feel the negative energy of people having to wait behind me like a wave, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, guys, let him vent. Like I didn't start this conversation. And he's like, and he at the end he's like, seriously, you teachers are the backbone of this country, and I want you to know that I'm saying that. And so thank you for all you do. I was a music teacher for a while, so I appreciate that. And he apparently is a professional French hornist, true, for that. He's amazing. And I was like, oh, I really appreciate that. He squeezed my hand again. He's like, can you go talk to me again? I was like, yeah. So I was telling my girlfriends, I'm like, apparently I had a vent session with Sean Schimmel. He really needed to vent. And they're like, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, other than the angry fans behind me, it was really cool. I'm not gonna lie. So Sean, you are a very beautiful, connected soul. So that was great. I can't wait to share that with my older kids. I don't think my little kids would appreciate it as much, but they do know who Goku is. And then here's some posters from the girls that I love that I was a female dungeon master. So I got Avatar, and I got Hex Girls, and they had Golden Girls, but they were out of that one actually. It was on their display, so they're gonna mail it to me for free. They were so awesome. And I got 2 stickers. I got one as a gift for a friend, so I can't show you that one. And then I got a free one. Nerd. Because I love this Animaniacs one. They got prepared for the voice actors of Animaniacs, and they both signed it. Nar. I just realized Pinky says Nar. I love it. It's probably gonna go in the classroom. Although I don't know if my kids will know who these people are. I don't have to see. But they said, hey, if you get our poster signed, we've been asking people if you get it signed by both of them, we'll give you a free sticker. And we want to take a picture of it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Oh, here's our business card. Perfect. Nerdorama. Nerdorama. They are awesome. They were awesome movies. And they said, yeah, we want to like follow you and talk nerdy with you and like maybe play Dungeons and Dragons. They were very serious. And I'm like, okay. So I met Mr. Maurice right here. So I mostly knew him as Brain, but I didn't realize oh my gosh, he's several characters in Futurama, especially he's Kif, who's my favorite. I don't know if he was the dad in Arendelle either. Holy crap. Yosemite Sam, he does Taz and Tiny Toons because I had a Tiny Toons shirt and he started making noises, which was great. I was like, oh my God. And he just, yeah, like he signed all of it. So he asked what I knew him from, and I said, Pinky and the Brain, of course, and I love Futurama. So he signed those, which was really awesome. So nice to meet you. Oh, I love it. And he was so kind. He had a Brain shirt from Pinky and the Brain. And he gave me a hug when I was gushing to him and thanking him for being a part of my childhood and my life. And at one point, he's like, sorry, I'm sweaty. I said, oh, no, sir, it's fine. It's humid. Because it is humid here. He's like, I'm so sweaty. Anybody got a towel? I was like, I'll go get you a towel. I'll get you all the towels. I'll be your gopher. Yeah, but we got a cute picture together. And his assistant was like, oh my gosh, you have the most beautiful smile. And she's pointing to me. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm really happy right now. I mean, these great people. And then next door, I waited for Rob Paulson. Now, I don't know if his assistant just didn't really separate people, or he just didn't, Mr. Paulson didn't want to like separate people by VIP, but he had a VIP line, but everybody was just together. First come, first serve, which, okay, I respect that. But oh my gosh. Okay. This is the man that like, I love, lots of voice actors, but he's in one of my American favorites. There's just something about his voice, his energy. I mean, every time I hear him, I get so happy. And he spent like 4 minutes with everybody. He was so appreciative. He treated you like a person. Like I saw him talking to this girl in a wheelchair and she was like bawling, and he just spent so much time with her. And both of them, when you bought a recording or a video, which was like $80, which, that's normal for a celebrity, voice actor, they gave you like a full minute of content. And they did like when I got to see them before it was my turn to meet Mr. Paulson. They did one together. Somebody bought one of them as a duo, as Pinky and Brain, and they ad-libbed a whole like mini script for this person, as Pinky and Brain, and I got to see him do two, Mr. Paulson by himself as multiple voices. And if somebody said, "Hey, I loved you as Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron," he started talking like that. So I was just. Because some voice actors want to save their voice, or unless you pay for it, they don't want to do the voice. And again, I respect that. But no, that he was just like Jim Cummings. When I met him, he was doing voices just for the heck of it the whole time. So I get maybe that's a American voice actor thing versus a Japanese dub actor, but it was just so cool. And he people would show him stuff like, "Hey, this is like my original Ninja Turtles backpack from preschool back in the 80s." He'd be like, "Oh, that's so cool, man." Or, "Hey, here, I found a cassette from Animax. Oh my gosh, well, that takes me back." And he just was so easy to talk to. So here he is, and he is a very cute guy. I will say that, inside and out. This is Mr. Paulson. I like the Looney Tunes effect. I think it's funny it was the original Raphael, but he's Donatello in the Nickelodeon version. And these are just some of his characters he has in abundance. So my poem reflected that. Oh my gosh. But I went up to him and he's like, "Hi, how are you, sweetheart?" And I started getting misty-eyed. And I normally don't do that. Like I'll hyperventilate and I'll overly grin and gush, but I don't know what it was. And he's just like looking at me like, "Are you okay?" He didn't say it. He's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, I just want to say that your voice, your talent, your passion, it's distinguishable, and I always listened for it from growing up till now. And every time I find you, it's like finding a friend. Like I start smiling, and you have gotten me through some hard times. And I'm getting choked up again, and I start getting choked up, and he like just gave me like a puppy pout and he goes, "Can I hug you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "This is my favorite part." Is like, obviously I get paid to do zany, fun voices, and I want you to enjoy that. But meeting you guys is the best part. And he liked the poem, and he wanted to read it out loud. I said, "You probably don't have time." He goes, "Well, I'm definitely going to read it." I said, "I appreciate that." We talked for a while. He did a couple of voices for me, and I said I loved Yakko because I was the older sibling, and even though I'm crazy, I knew I was always right. And he goes, "That's a funny explanation. I like that." But we got a great picture together, and we got multiple. And then before we were smiling, he goes, "Hello, nurse," as he's Yakko in the original. He went, "Hello, Morgan." We got him like mid, and I'm laughing. And then we got some good ones after that. So they were so cute. And if I would have got a voice recording from anybody, it probably would have been him. So he just made my weekend. One of the people who did. So thank you, Mr. Paulson. He's still active, guys. Like, check it out. And then the big one for anime. Actually, no, I'll save him for second to last. Where's my? I had a folder. I just had it. Let me put it down here. Oh, here it is. I was like, something's in my leg. Okay. So last two. Okay. And then I met Donald. He was only there Saturday, Sunday. He didn't take photos, which I was kind of disappointed about, but you know what happens. His assistant was nice. He did assign to my classroom. He didn't talk to me like at all. I will be honest. So I was, again, kind of disappointed, but maybe he had a rough flight or maybe something happened. So I try not to judge, but I am grateful for the picture. And it's gonna have great in our classroom. He also animates Donald, like one of the animators. I didn't know that because you could get a custom Donald doodle. All right, and then I met Chris Sabat, and that was I talk about that in the other video, with the review video, the craziness with that. But he was so nice, and I gave him the poem. And his poem, and he also tried to read it, but he had way too long of a line. I said, "I do not want people mad at me." And he's like, "Well, you probably know my rules more than I do, apparently." So he put it over and he thanked me. He said, "Give me your business card." I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Good girl." And he goes, "But I do want to tell you." And he leaned over. He goes, "I can write a poem too with AI." And I was like, because I told him I wrote books professionally. I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, mine will be better." Like, "Oh, okay." And I was just like, "Yeah." And he grabbed my hand. He goes, "Sweetheart, I'm kidding." He's, I wouldn't do that to you. Said yours is way better than mine, I'm sure. But because I know AI is like a huge debate with creatives right now. But I was like, okay, I like his humor. That's great. He's always funny in commentaries. And I told him about my anime club too. And between that and the gift, he said, "Well, I got to give you a free one, a free autograph." I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to. You got me a gift." And I support teachers. I was like, "Oh, you and Sean share something similar." He's like, "Yeah." So I thought that was pretty cool. So he gave me a free one. So here's the one I paid for, and the Ayami one. And we took our selfie. And like I said, I held the original 2001 Fruits Basket Ayami plush, and he had the snake that's from my Fruits Basket Toru cosplay. I have all the Zodiac in there. And he wrapped around his neck, and he still had me, had the snake, had the camera, and he still made the snake move. There's 6 pictures that was getting closer into the screen. He's like, "The snake's took over." So that was just so funny. And again, he has that iridescent style too. So XOXO, and then he did his "I love Yuki" Ayami voice, and I'm just like, which is great. But then for my free one, he's like, okay, I gotta pick a free one for you. So I'm like, okay. He's like, Zoro, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And he's like, "No." He's like, "You don't want Zoro?" Because he had like 4 different ones, and I'm like, I don't know. Apparently he's in One Piece. So I'm like, "Oh, like, okay, like that's cool." Because he's trying to figure out like which one my anime kids would love. I'm not in my I was grateful for anything. I said, "Actually, you probably you would not have this. My favorite character of yours is Kurogane from Tsubasa." And he stopped. He goes, "Oh." He goes, "I wish Kurogane was more popular." He goes, "I love Kurogane." He's like, "That's a classic." And I'm like, it's so sad that's a classic now because that's like from 15 years ago. Oh my God. But yeah, it is. I didn't have Casanova or Basanova from Oron, even though he was a minor character. He was a very popular minor character in Oron High School Host Club. Um, and then he looked at me and he goes, I think you like sparkles. Do you like sparkles? I said, yeah. He goes, Armstrong. So I got Armstrong from Full Metal. And he goes, you do like sparkles. And I was like, it's perfect. And he wrote Sensei, my anime club. Oh, I've got to lead Armstrong. Sorry. But oh my gosh, that was so sweet of him. Oh my goodness. So that was nice that he supported teachers. We had fun. His assistant was an angel. She was so sweet to talk to. Because she travels with them. I could tell they were really close. And she came with them. And I said, I wish he had like a headshot with his multiple characters. And she said, oh, I know. I'm really surprised he doesn't. Because he's been around since Funimation started back in like 97, 98 with Dragon Ball. Hence why he played so many characters. And he was so good. And he just stuck with it. Now he's one of the writers of the show, which I also did not know that. That was cool to find out at the panel. And she goes, well, I tried to convince him. She goes, man, you're cute. Maybe you can convince him. She goes, because he's one of the few voice actors, like not to be mean, but some of them have like one role or maybe a small handful that they are, that's their main ones. And of course, Chris has those too, but she goes, but he has more fans that they can't decide which print they want. And I was kind of in that boat too. Like Ayami was always obviously my favorite. But yeah, if he would have had like all of his characters separate, I would have been like, oh God, So I like when they have the headshots with the multiple characters. Plus, I like seeing the actor too, because they're a real person, like, behind the microphone kind of thing. So I don't know if I convinced him. Probably not. But anyway, that was really fun. So yeah, that's my experiences. I met 8 people, got 2 autographs from Piggy and the Brain each, so 8, so 10 plus a free one. So I got 11 autographs, which is great. And I still was a little bit under budget on my autograph budget, so autograph / picture budget with the combos, and so it was absolutely worth it. Meeting these great people from my childhood. They're people that are just awesome. My friends, I think, had wonderful times too. Again, I talked about some of my Lord of the Rings small interactions or relaying what my friends told me in the review video. So you have 3 fanboy videos this year to check out. My voice is shot. I will say that. Woo! 4 live videos. Little cray. But I think I'm done. So, okay, friends, I'm going to rest up for Wizard of Oz tonight. And I will see you guys soon. I'll be taking pictures of things. So look forward to that. All right. You guys take care. Thanks for sticking with me. All right. Hearts, love, fans of you. Thank you, Fanboy, for everything. Bye.